think I've been interested in wine as long as I can remember. When I was 3-4 years old, I remember my parents always having wine at table, it being such a big part of special occasions in our home, going down to the wine cellar with my dad to pick out just the right bottle, being asked at 7 years old to taste through a line of sherries and pick out my favorite to my least favorite. Something that's always been a big part of my family, I guess. The Rhone Valley is really, you have to see it as being two pretty separate entities. The northern and southern Rhone Valley are separated by almost 100 kilometers from the southern borders of the northern Rhone and the northern borders of the southern valley, if you take my meaning. They share the same name because of the Rhone River that connects them. But the northern Rhone is the reds, predominantly reds, 100% Syrah. And it's a continental climate, clay soils. The vineyards tend to be grown on quite steep slopes to catch every drop of sunshine available. And it's Syrah that's considered austere in its youth, but very powerful, very structured. And when it's had time to develop, it becomes extremely elegant, very subtle but powerful, with lingering finish, and really a great expression of the Syrah grape. Whereas the whites in the north tend to come from Viognier, in Condrieu, in Château-Grier. And then as you get further south, you go move into the Marsanne and the Roussanne grape. Now, moving south, like I said, roughly about 100 kilometers, you get into the southern Rhone. And the southern Rhone is a completely different ballpark. We're moving into a Mediterranean climate, really governed by this famous wind current called the Mistral, which can blow up to 100 kilometers an hour. And is a really vital part of the vineyard's life, really. It's the strong winds that allow to dry the grape, dry the vineyards, and allow them to really struggle. The vines love to struggle. Vineyards will grow in any sort of soil you give them. If you look at Châteauneuf, for example, it's all big, round, granite stones. It looks like there's no earth at all. And it allows the vines to really dig down and find nutrients from deep within the soil. So the southern Rhone is basically Grenache predominant, rather than Syrah from the north. And so usually there's a 50% minimum of Grenache, about a 30% roughly minimum of Syrah. And then you move into smaller southern Rhone varieties like Mourvèdre, Cinsault, Carignan. And the southern varieties tend to be much, you can feel the warmth in the grapes, you can feel that spice, those Provençal herbs coming through. They're much bolder, higher in alcohol, they're real food wines. Whereas the northern wines require meat definitely, but subtle sauces to let the Syrah really dominate. The southern wines marry well with spice, with richer sauces. So very different types of wine from both areas, but extremely versatile and really everything from entry-level sort of AOC Côte du Rhône wines that are approachable, very young, very fruit-forward, very velvety and easy drinking, to these extremely elegant, fine wines when you're moving into the Syrah, 100% Syrah wines of the north.